Hello, my name is Iwf Loop and I'm with Quality Aerosols, and I'm here today to show you how to hook up a canister. The tools you'll need is a 9/16 box wrench, a 1-inch crescent wrench. You'll need your gun and your hose, and the hoses come in various sizes from 6 foot to 50 foot. You should keep your canister in front of you to hook it up properly. The first step, what you'll do is take your hose and attach it to your gun. And you'll snug it up with your finger, and then you'll take your 1-inch crescent wrench and you'll tighten her up. You'll take your hose and connect it to your canister. And again, what you'll want to do is snug it up with your fingers, and then once you have it snug, take your 9/16 and tighten it up the rest of the way. And remember, do not over tighten the connector because you don't want to break off the nozzle from the canister. Make sure it's tight, and now you're ready to spray. Hi, I'm Iwf Loop with Quality Aerosols, and I'm here to show you how to spray our Quality Aerosols products. First thing you're going to do is you're going to open your canister and hear the rush of product. And by the way, there are different tips for these guns. This is a standard tip that comes with the gun. It's a 6501, and then we offer various other tips for this gun. The first thing we're going to want to do is make sure that the nozzle is at the 12 and 6 o'clock setting, and you can see it's completely straight with the hose. And now we're going to open the gun with the thumb screw. You're going to go counterclockwise 8 counts. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now we are ready to spray. And what you can see is a web pattern. And you can make adjustments to your gun at any time to control how much you're putting on the substrate. As you can see, that's a finer spray now. And one thing you'll notice that I am parallel to the substrate, so I don't get any flyaways. And you can control how much adhesive you got by slowing up or speeding up. That will determine how much adhesive, as you can see, that it will go on the substrate. So let's recap. If you maintain 10 to 12 inches from your substrate, keep your gun in a parallel position while you're spraying, and use your speed slow to fast to determine how much adhesive goes to your substrate, you'll have optimum performance on your Quality aerosol products each and every time. As you know, we have different products, and some of these products have different spray patterns that I'd like to show you. This one is a web pattern. And this one here is a mist. Now these are two of the patterns that we offer, a web and mist pattern from our Quality Aerosols products. Now we're going to do an application on the substrate. We're applying the adhesive right to the plywood, and now we're applying the same adhesive to the laminate. And now we're going to allow the adhesive to flash off, and that's what we call tack time. And that tack time could be anywhere from 1 minute to 5 minutes, depending on the conditions. If it's cold, it's going to be longer. If it's hot, it's going to be shorter. So we're going to give it its time to tack up, and then we'll complete the application. As you can see from the patterns, they're both going the same way. In order to get a stronger bond, we want to do a cross-link, which means we're going to change the pattern so they go against one another. And then we're going to put the two substrates together, and we're going to apply pressure to them. And you can use various things to apply the pressure. Most people will use a J roller. I'm using just another flat piece of plywood to complete the application. And your application is now complete. Now I want to show you one-sided spraying, which we call temporary. And we'll put the substrates together. And now we'll apply pressure to them. Again, you can do it with a J roller. And this is for applications that you want to reposition it if you don't have it just right. As you can see, I can reposition it. I didn't have that exactly square on the substrate, so now I can put it back down, and again I can apply pressure and it's going to stick again. As you can see, now I have an application, the corners are square. For a temporary bond, you'd be using our pressure-sensitive adhesive. That would be for a one-sided application that you can reposition. For our contacts, you would be doing two-sided applications for a permanent bond. After you complete your job, it's now time to clean your gun and hose. The first thing you're going to want to do is shut off your tank. Make sure you shut it off completely. And then you're going to bleed your line down. Means you'll keep spraying it until you don't get anything else left out of that hose and gun. And it may take several minutes for it to bleed completely down. So you'll keep spraying until you do not hear any more sound coming out of the nozzle of the gun, and you set it down. And then I use a rag just to kind of protect myself on the cylinder, and then you slowly relieve the pressure from the tank. And you'll hear the air escaping as you're slowly releasing it. This ensures that you don't have any pressure build up in the hose and it might backflush on you. And now you're completely empty now. We're going to use this 11-pounder of our citrus adhesive remover to clean the hose and gun. So we use the same techniques. We'll take the hose and attach it to the nozzle of the cleaner. Then take your 9/16 box wrench and tighten it the rest of the way. You don't want to over tighten the cylinder, just enough pressure to make sure it's snug, and then you're set to go. That's done, and now we open up the valve and you'll fill the hose up with cleaner. And now all you have to do is you again do your 8 turns. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now you'll spray it out. You're doing it just long enough to ensure that you get all the adhesive out of the hose and gun assembly. And that looks clear. And you're done. Now that's clean now. So your hose and gun have been cleaned. Now there are other options. If you're going to use your cylinder every night, you don't have to remove it from the canister. If you're going to shut it down for a weekend or an extended period of time of more than 2 days, you would need to disconnect it from your canister and hook it up to the cleaner and clean your hose and gun. And that will make sure that your hose and gun assembly is always in 100% tip-top shape. One of the biggest challenges you have in using aerosol canister products is cold weather and the effect it has on those products. As you can see, you will lose pattern during cold weather, inconsistent and loss of pattern, dripping, bubbles. These are indicative of what takes place when the temperature gets below 65 degrees. Now, there are different ways to combat that. One of them is to make sure that you warm up your canister if it's under 60 degrees so you can get it back over 65 degrees so it works properly. The techniques you can use to overcome these poor spray patterns are the shake and roll method. The roll method, you set it on its side and you roll it back and forth. This allows the concentrate to get back into solution. Or the second method is to pick it up and do the shake method, where you'll shake it back and forth to get it back into solution. And those are two of the techniques to use to troubleshoot poor spray pattern. The roll method would work just as well with these large cylinders as it did with the small canisters. You would lower the cylinder to the floor and roll it back and forth. Another method to keep cold weather off these cylinders is a pallet. As you can see, this pallet is raised about 4 inches off the concrete. The cold weather would go through the concrete. Because of the pallet, it won't go into the canister. And the last method you can use is to use a blanket, and the blanket would be used to cover the adhesive to keep it warm and allow the adhesive to stay warm all during the night. Sometimes bad spraying patterns are caused by clogged tips. I'm going to show you how to clean a tip using our Quality Aerosol Citrus Adhesive Remover. So we're going to spray the tip down with the adhesion remover. Make sure you saturate the tip correctly, completely, and give it a few seconds. Allow it to drip off, and then take your rag and you can wipe off the excess right off the tip. And now you have a clean tip. Quality aerosol products are really trouble-free and are really great products. We've shown you some techniques to help in the event of an issue.